for the price, it's hard to beat. Alright, so one thing that I haven't shown yet, and I've had this for a couple of months, and I bought this as a compliment, another compliment to our arsenal, like I did the grinder. And Dad's actually doing a little bit of a project he's working on right now, and that is, I got the Art Captain MiG 200 welder. So like I said, I got it like, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago or something like that. I got it for my birthday, actually. So yeah, it was about 2 months ago. I wanted something that I could learn to weld and not use Dad's nice welder, because he has a Hobart Stickmate. What is that guy, a two... What is this one? Yeah. There we go. That's what we got. And that thing's like 15 years old or something, isn't it? 20? And it's a really nice stick welder. And I don't want to wreck Dad's stick welder. So, we've always, when he's done projects and things like that, he kind of mentions once in a while, like, oh, it'd be nice to have a wire feed. Nice to have a wire feed. Well, for the price with that welder, and you can't really beat it. It's a MIG welder. It can do TIG. It can do aluminum with a spool gun. It does have that capability. It doesn't come with it, but it also can do stick. So I can handle everything, and I thought it would be a really nice complement to what we already have, because like the bale wagons, those were done with that stick welder. Dad's fifth wheel trailer that we actually sold last year, he did with that stick welder. So did everything with that. So the wire feed is just a nice complement. So we've been playing around with it. I actually laid a couple beads that weren't horrible, but Dad's used it a few times already, and he doesn't hate it. He actually kind of likes it. He gives me a little bit of grief, but he actually kind of likes it, especially for things like sheet metal stuff. And I'll show you one thing that we already did with it, and then I'll take you over and show you what he's working on now. Yeah, so right here, so this was kind of like crinkled up and torn up and stuff, and there was a hole right here, and we didn't want stuff catching on it, you know, kind of like this. So there's a little bit of garbage in there, but that'll be fine. So we kind of straightened this out as good as possible, and then we actually welded in a little patch here so that there wouldn't be a hole, and stalks and stuff wouldn't catch on there. So that was one little project we did with it. Another thing that he's doing right now is there was a panel on the new blower that had a tear on it, and he's going to try and kind of stitch it back together. So I'll show you that. With the welder, I got, so this is a 110 220, and it comes with an adapter. It's nice because it comes with a 220 plug, and then you can adapt to 110. So don't use this because we have 220 here. And then it came with the stinger for the stick, came with a nice ground, and it came with a nice stinger for the MIG. And so far it's done really decent. I am using flux core. I did get that only so I wouldn't have to mess with gas. Maybe I'll switch to gas, maybe we won't, doesn't matter. We're already used to having to chip slag and things like that, so it's not a big deal. But it can do flux, and that was part of the reason I wanted it too, is then you can do all of that. And then when I got it, these were on sale. Nice pair of Art Captain gloves for like 15 bucks. And they're decent. They're nice heavy duty leather, and they're comfortable and things like that. Dad has kind of taken over using my helmet, which is actually a Yes Welder helmet and was really cheap, but it works decent. So I picked up, which was on sale at the time too, a Arc Captain auto darkening helmet. I do like the big view in there, so this has turned out pretty nice. Dad obviously has used this more than I have, the welder that is. So here's the panel that you got. You can, I think right now we have it, yep, we have it on synergetic mode, so you can kind of, if you tell it like we're using this wire, it's flux, when you set one, it kind of sets the voltage or the amps. Once you set the voltage, it'll set the amps, vice versa, and then you can tweak plus or minus like 3 volts for whatever setting. So if you wanted to go up amps, now you can go up or down on your voltage. So you could go all the way into the minus range on your voltage. So you can kind of fine tune what you're doing. And then this, I think, is just, this is just your feed, so we just leave that as standard. But it does have all the different settings. It is on MIG. I do have 30 thousandths flux core in there, and yes, it is on flux. And then this is also your different settings for your trigger control. One, you can do, you just click and hold and you're welding. You can, another setting is click, release, and weld, and then click again to stop welding. And then the third is actually a spot weld feature, which I did try and it works pretty decent. So that's just a real quick basic overview. We've liked it so far. Dad, you've liked it so far?
Yes.
Yes, Dad has liked it so far. I will leave a link in the description for the one that I got. I actually got it off the website, but that was only because the sale had run out on Amazon. I think I got the helmet off of Amazon, but I'll leave you links to all of those, whether it's the website or Amazon. I'm not sure what the price is currently, but I do feel that it's probably going to go back on sale because like in 6 weeks it's the holidays. But yeah, it definitely a nice add to the arsenal. So what Dad is working on right now is there's this tear right here. So he kind of flattened it out, and I think he's just going to try and stitch it along. And that's the nice thing about the wire feed, is that we can touch that thing down low enough that it'll work well on, you know, things like that. Like that fan, most of the time, is only running when you're welding. So it'll kind of come on and turn off, come on, turn off. So that's really nice. There's actually, when you open the door, there's a light in there, so you can kind of see what you're doing.
It just seems so freaking hot.
Well, if it is, turn it down. Is it still hot?
I think it's my imagination because it's flux wire. Just so. See, I can't see where the fuck I'm welding.
So, not too bad. Dad even admitted, and this is Dad's words, that he's not too crazy about it, but it'll hold. It's good enough. So, yeah. That's the Arc Captain MiG 200. We like it. For the price, it's hard to beat. So, yeah. Try out some different wires and stuff. Right now, I am using, because it was on sale, I am using the Yes Welder flux core stuff in there. But again, that was because it had really, really good reviews, and I'll probably definitely try the Arc Captain stuff because, well, honestly, it's an Arc Captain welder. But yeah, we'll keep playing around with it. So I got a couple extra minutes before I gotta get out of here, but I thought I would just show you another demonstration. Not really any kind of skill, but just how the thing works, and honestly just welding two pieces of metal together. I'm not really going to clean anything up. I'm just going to wire brush it with a hand brush, and that's it. One, because I don't really have the time. So these are just a couple of scrap pieces. All right, so I just got a chunk of scrap angle, and we're just going to use that as a bottom. This is pretty decent steel in itself, so not a big deal. And then this is a chunk of angle. This is actually a chunk of bed frame, and if you got old bed frames laying around, this stuff actually comes in handy. So I'll find you guys a different spot to sit, but I'm basically just going to, I don't know, throw it on like this or something like that. Nothing fancy, but maybe gets you another idea of how this thing works. So there is a little chart inside the door, you know, kind of, you know, what wire material thickness you're using. We're down here with flux core, so on 30 thousandths, and then what you're welding. It also does tell you like where to connect the positive of the ground, or like where to connect the ground and where to connect the stinger, whether it's no gas or gas. And then, like I mentioned, there's a light in here, which is pretty cool. It did come with all of the drive wheels that are needed to be able to work in there. And then, like I mentioned, yes, I do have welder wire in there. Like I said, it had ridiculously large amounts of reviews with a good rating. So no, I didn't get our captain, but I will definitely try it. And it can handle the, what is it, the 10-pound spool or 11-pound spool, the big guy. It does come with an adapter to put on there. Not spectacular, not cleaned off, just a couple of tacks. It is fairly solid. That one didn't hold for crap. Again, I'm horrible. I need to learn. All right, we'll put the gloves on. We'll make it look professional. That seemed a little cold. Yeah, again, I'm not a welder. I'm learning, but that's a bad weld because it's hardly even grabbing on there. So, oh well. All right, let's rotate this and see if we can do this side one here and do a little better job. Oh, just push that off. That's all right though. We can find a home for the ground. Stick it right there. Much nicer. Not a great start, but definitely much nicer. That was hotter. Even I can tell that. But years of sitting and listening to welds, I've helped with a lot of welding projects. So I can still tell whether it was a good weld or not a good weld, and I can ask Dad, you want me to crank it up a little bit, crank it down? I mean, I just need to get the technique down. All right, so I just went and cut that off just because, I don't know, we're playing. And I'm just gonna weld this back on to here. You know, just because we're goofing around. Or should I just weld it onto here? Because we're just goofing around. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll weld that. Not too bad. That one still didn't. I don't know if I'm not getting a good enough view through my mask. Dad was complaining about his too, but maybe it's just got to get used to it. So my problem with this one, I'm not getting into that corner as much as I should be. Again, still learning. It's gonna be a while. Be patient, patient. So, yeah, I don't know. Basically, the reviews I've seen on the Arc Captain, I watched more videos than Bethany would care to admit that I watched. Because I wanted to see what the capability of it was. Was it worth the money? You know, even though, I mean, it's like, I don't want to say it's a cheap welder, but it's compared to its capabilities, it's a budget friendly welder, I would call it. But I wanted to make sure that I'm not buying a piece of junk and that people were having good reviews, and they were, and that's part of the reason I got it. So, you know, it's something that I want to learn on and become better at. Got to be at least halfway decent at it. All right, let's rotate this around. We'll do one more and then we'll call it good. All right, so I'm gonna try and hit this corner right in here. That needs to be a little hotter. Yeah, that ended better. Alright, I'm gonna lay one more bead right next to it. Just honestly to lay a bead. That's about it. So that was much, much better, but it probably is actually too hot now. I'd rather be a little too hot than a little too cold. So, but again, I'm learning. It's going to be a process. I'm not going to be great for a long time. But yeah, I think it's going to be a neat addition kind of to the arsenal, kind of like the Milwaukee grinder. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys kind of a look-see at this guy. It's the Arc Captain MiG 200, and if you're looking for something budget-friendly that's going to be able to do probably 80 to 90% of what you're ever going to do, then take a look at this guy. So yeah, I think it's going to be it's going to be great to have around. It's already served a purpose already, and we've only had it for 2 months. Dad was a little skeptical at first, but he's liking it. He's liking it. So, all right, just a quick video. Want to show you the Arc Captain. Hope you guys liked the video. Please hit that thumbs up button. you got any questions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. And thanks for coming along.